Hey, it's Connor from BaseLang.com, where you can get unlimited Spanish training for $100 a month. And today I want to talk about how to never lose motivation when you're learning Spanish.
Presented by BaseLang.com. Unlimited Spanish tutoring for $100 a month.
And I call this identity-based motivation for language learning. And you can use this actually not just for language learning, but for anything. This is the motivation ladder that everything goes through. So what are the 4 steps of the motivation ladder? The first step is enthusiasm, inspiration. Then you get to a habit, you get to preference, and you get to identity. So let's go through that. Let's unpack that. What does that mean? So the first step is like you're enthusiastic, you're inspired, you watch a video, maybe something happens in your life that you're like, God, yes, I want to learn Spanish now. Maybe it's just something happened and now you're inspired to go out and finally do that. Now, if you're like most people, this is what happens. Day 1, you get inspired and you learn it for 2 or 3 hours that day and you make tons of progress. Day 2, you're still inspired, but you do it a little bit less. Maybe you do like 45 minutes. You're like, no, I'll go back to an hour tomorrow. We'll be back on it. The next day, you're like, oh, I'm so busy. I got work again today. It's a Monday. I'll do it tomorrow. I'm fine. It's just one day. The next day, you're like, okay, enthusiasm. And you get 30 minutes in. And you're using willpower to get yourself to do this. And then the next day, you sort of slip. And then you slip again. You're like, no, I'm still going to do it. I'm still going to do it. You do 30 minutes more. And that's the last day you do it. And within 2 weeks, you've quit again until the next time inspiration strikes. And if you're like most people, this happens over and over and over. It happened for me 3 times. I did that several times with French. I did it once with Indonesian. I did it with Chinese. So I'm no stranger to this cycle of getting excited and then sort of losing the enthusiasm and not really making any progress. So in this first portion, when you've got this enthusiasm, you've got this inspiration, you don't want to direct that towards willpower and like pushing yourself through it. Because you're going to end up like every New Year's resolutioner who doesn't meet their goal. You sort of quit after the willpower runs out. It only lasts a couple weeks, if that long. So what you want to do instead is use that enthusiasm to build a habit. You use that enthusiasm to, all right, I'm going to do 1 hour every day, or just do 30 minutes a day. Do 30 minutes every day, 30 minutes every day, until it just happens, where it's just normal. You just do it every day. And you build this habit. So you use all of that willpower, all that enthusiasm to build the habit. Now, once you've got that habit, now you're in the second rung of the motivation ladder. Now, this is a great place to be because now you've got a habit of doing it, so you're not really using willpower that much to follow through with this thing that you set out to do, which ideally is probably speaking with the tutor for 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours a day. And then, doing a little bit of vocab training when you're on the toilet. And ideally, at this point, now you are in a habit and you don't have to think about it anymore. You're just like, all right, I'm doing it. It's just something you do every day. It's a habit. But the problem is, old habits die hard. So this is a young habit, and if you're not careful, it's very easy for you to slip back out of that and not do it anymore. So while you're in that habit stage, what you want to do is educate yourself on why you're doing this and the research behind it, and sort of really buy in to learning Spanish every single day. And once you do that, you can push yourself to the third rung of the motivation ladder, which is preference. Now, preference is where you actually prefer to learn Spanish every day over not doing it. It's easy because you're just doing things that you like. You're doing it because you want to. So when you prefer something, all worry about sort of quitting sort of goes away because you want to do it more than you don't want to do it. But it's still not completely solidified. So the 4th rung, if you can push yourself to the 4th rung of the motivation ladder, is identity, where you become the type of person who learns Spanish, where deep in your self-talk and deep in your self-image of who am I is I'm the type of person that studies Spanish every day because I always want to be making progress. I'm the type of person who loves using my Spanish every day with whatever friend, or I'll jump on Skype for a little bit just because I want to. I'm the type of person who does that every day. That's just me. That's who I am. And once you've really gone to this deep, deep identity level, you're not going to quit. Because you quitting would be unfathomable. It's just like, oh, that's just not something I do. It's like someone who's a super health freak going to McDonald's and ordering a Big Mac. It's just not something that they would consider even possible. It goes against their identity. So once you can get to that identity stage, then you're never going to stop learning Spanish. You're never going to quit because it's part of your identity that you study every day. Now, a lot of times people will fool themselves into thinking that I'm the type of person who does this. And this is actually kind of useful from getting you from the habit stage to the preference stage. Sort of using the self-talk and telling yourself that you prefer it, but it still takes a while for you to truly make it deep down part of your identity. So to use another example to sort of walk you through this so you can see it, say, for example, eating healthy. So you get the inspiration to eat healthy. Maybe you saw a video, or you have a loved one who has health issues because they weren't eating healthy, or maybe that's you. And so you decide to start eating healthy. Like, now's the time. I'm going to do it. So the ideal thing to do here is to build a habit of eating healthy. Once you've got the habit of eating healthy, the next step is preferring it, where you don't want the Twinkie, but you want the salad. You don't want, the fried chicken, but you'd rather sit down and have a steak with some steamed vegetables. And then the final stage, of course, is identity, where you're just the type of person who eats like that. That's just who you are. So what I want you to take away from this video is know that those are the 4 steps. And whenever you have an inspiration strike, know that you have to take that inspiration and turn it into a habit. Not using willpower to try and push towards your goal, but turning it into a habit so that you're consistently going to make progress every single time and you're not going to fall off after a couple weeks. That is how you consistently push towards each of your goals. And sort of an aside, and I'll talk about this more in another video, but you really want to focus on one of these things at a time. And if you're watching this video right now, it's pretty certain that that one thing in your life right now is learning Spanish. So I hope this inspired you and you sort of understand it. And I want you to harness any inspiration or motivation you got from this video, and I want you to take that and turn it into a habit.
Hey, this is Connor again, and I just want to drop in an extra note here where if you are feeling inspired from this post, or if you're feeling, all right, let's really get into learning Spanish finally, what you're going to want to do now is share this video or the corresponding blog post publicly on Facebook and tag the BaseLang Facebook page in your post, and we're going to give you for free a free 30-minute class with one of our teachers to get you rolling so you can build that momentum. And all you got to do is share this publicly on Facebook and tag the BaseLang Facebook page in your post. All right, that's all for today. Until the next video, I hope you have an awesome day.